order to write your first WordPress plugin, you're going to need to open up your cPanel and go to your file browser. Then you want to navigate to WP Content, then Plugins. And here you'll see a list of all your available plugins, and you can also create plugins from here. You could also use an FTP client like FileZilla in order to access these same files. Now create a new folder within your plugins directory. Then you want to create your main WordPress PHP plugin file, making sure it has the same name as your main PHP plugin directory. So in this PHP file, what you want to do first is create an opening tag for your PHP code, then followed by a comment, a multi-line comment in where you'll be documenting the properties about your plugin. Begin by just adding some regular documentation tags such as a package, author, license, and version information. And now we're actually going to write the details that WordPress is going to see and display it on your WP admin pages where you manage your plugins. And the first one is going to be your plugin name. Enter a display name that you want to have on the front end, then followed by a place where a user can click on to find more information, detailed information about your plugin. Then enter the description for your plugin, making sure everything exists on one line only, and then write your plugin version information. Also be sure to add the author's information as well as where we can learn more about the author, and finally close off with the licensing information for your plugin. Now this next part isn't absolutely required, but it does help out tremendously when developing your WordPress plugin. What you want to do is check to see if this constant is defined within the WordPress ecosystem. It ensures to make sure that your plugin only runs once. Next, you want to define a series of constants that you can reuse within your WordPress plugin. These are going to include the plugin's name, the plugin's version, the absolute server path to this specific file we're editing, the absolute server path to this plugin's folder, and as well as the plugin's base directory information. And lastly, the complete HTTP URL for this plugin's folder so it can be accessible using a normal web browser. At this point, your plugin is basically ready to go. However, it does absolutely nothing. To remedy that, what we'll do is add this line that says, hey, if we would like to add additional PHP files within this plugin, we're going to require that using the server's directory and as well as the file that we'd like to include. At the same time, we're going to go ahead and add an action to have our plugin actually do something. In this case, we're going to add the action to filter the content for the pages, whether it's a blog post or the actual page that we're visiting. And when this occurs, we're going to call this function, and this function is going to append this HTML tag to the end of the content. And the end result will look like this. That has been how to create a plugin using WordPress and PHP.